Welcome everybody to another matchup here between the Union Bulldogs and the Bluefield University Rams for an AAC showdown here at the East River Soccer Complex. A couple things to note prior to this contest. The Union Bulldogs come into this contest 2-4-1, not winning a single game in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, 0-3 to start their season. And Bluefield comes to this one a little bit in a better position. The Rams coming into this contest 4-5, 2-3 in the conference, having a couple wins over conference opponents like Johnson University and Columbia College, both away. And what's a little thing about the fact that Union is 0-3 is that they have actually competed against some of the top programs in the country. Of course, they lost to the University of the Cumberlands, coming in at losing the University of the Cumberlands. Columbia International, which we fell to 7-1 last week, where they only fell 2-1. Milligan coming into this losing to Milliken, number 13th ranked, losing to them, and of course the receiving votes of the Bulldogs of Tennessee Wesleyan. And as of course they will be lining up here for some play, a little slaps going round back and forth as we're about to start this one. Rams on the left side of the field, couple jumps of getting a little loose as they set up in their two circles. Of course, the Bulldogs coached by Jonathan Shaw. Jonathan Shaw was a Union College standout goalkeeper who is his eighth season as a member of the soccer coaching staff, sixth season as the assistant, and of course now the head coach. He was named an All-AAC first-team goalkeeper for 2 years back when he was competing, and looks to show why he's going to come here. Of course, in 2019, they finished 8-3 in the conference, being first in the conference as we're set to tee off. As the ball goes back and forth on the field, it's going to eventually make its way back to Devin Calloway. As the whistle blows, a moment of silence on the field. As the game starts, Calloway back to Johansson, almost making it all the way in front of the goal, but the goalkeeper coming out and retrieving it as he bowls it. Couple kicks going back and forth before Chris Dandridge is able to knock it out of play. Throw in from Union. A little foot fire with Collins and a Bulldog as it's kicked across the field before Mendoza gets a hold of it. The attempt coming from number 13, Ninbadruda. Patrick Ninbadruda coming out of Urbandale, Kenya, previously from Iowa Central Community College. Summerall. Calloway trying to get a hold of it as it shuffled between a couple of players. Get across the field. Past Collins in a foot fight. Almost recovered. Able to keep it in bounds, and Calloway not able to get it right over to Summerall as it goes down the field. Ninbaruta knocked out of bounds by Dandridge. Corner kick coming up from Union. Raises his hand in signal. Here comes the kick. And it rolls inbounds past Mendoza for the first goal here, which is a very tempo-setting goal. A lot of excitement coming from the Bulldogs as the Rams set up in position to tee off the next. Callaway in center. Setting up in a 3-4-3. A little closer to the line. Kick back towards Johansson. Kicked into the attacking third. Collins trying to make it there, but able to come out. In Moria. Check that Moreira. Kicked away across the field. In a dead sprint. Knocked out of bounds by Garcia. Mendoza setting up for the goal kick. Kicks it away. Almost a handball attempt there as Garcia gets the handle, knocking it back to Johansson. Back to Mendoza, over to Gymnander. Mendoza. Johansson kicked across. Almost not a ram there. Garcia racing as it's knocked back to Moreira. Moreira setting up. Moreira, the senior out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. As that's kicked away. Kick back to Moreira. A lot of wind coming over here in the East River Soccer Complex. Santos on the long side. Ninbaruta not able to get a hold of that. Sliding past Rodriguez and Batista. Throwing coming in from Rodriguez over to Feldman. As you guys can hear that gust of wind coming up towards us as Rodriguez kicks it over and it's knocked out of bounds. Vizcarra looking for possession to go to the Rams, but it will go back as Baruto knocks it off of Johansson, and they're going to set up for a corner kick. Fahia taking this one. Union looking for their second goal of the night. Patted away by Mendoza. Rolls almost towards the far corner and knocked out of bounds for a throw-in. Possession still with Union. As another foot fight. Collins slipped up just a little bit. Get away by Constanti as that's knocked back towards the Rams' goal. Garcia will set it up. Rodriguez able to recover by Viscaro. Constanti across as he goes back toward Falaise. Falaise knocking it into the attacking third. Able to keep it in on the corner. Garcia kicking over to Viscaro. Mendoza picking up this one. Setting up for a free kick. Kicked away. Viscaro on the edge. Knocked out of bounds by Feldman. Garcia bypassing Summerall. Gymnander over towards Garcia. Garcia back to Johansson. Johansson not able to keep it in his possession as he knocks it over to Gymnander as it rolls back to the goalkeeper in Mendoza. Johansson across, Callaway looking on the far edge, not able to keep it in bounds as possession goes back to the Bulldogs. Rodriguez looks for the throw-in as he knocks it over to Feliz. Was on the far side. Kicked out of bounds by Collins. Possession with Union. Rodriguez. Kicked across the field, rolling past the back line. Kicked away by Mendoza to middle field. Rodriguez. Viscaro taking it out. Possession still with the Rams. Rodriguez not too happy with that call. As Garcia looks for an open man. Almost to an open Santos. Almost racing across in Batista. Open man and Rodriguez. Kicked away, almost kicked in. Knocked in by Dan Baruta for the second goal here in the first half, in the first 15 minutes of play. Callaway lining up. Summerall, Viscardo on the line with him. Picked back. Almost blocked by Batista as it goes almost the far corner. Collins on the side. Tripped up by two as it's kicked back towards center field, and Batista almost shoved out a little bit by Constanti. Throwing coming in from the Rams. Throwing across from Collins. Back across midfield. Dandridge clears it over towards Rodriguez. Fahia back to Fillets. Kasorik stopped up, now headed away. Back toward Feliz. Fahia. On the far corner. Almost out of bounds. Right back into center field. A couple Rams in front of him. Sanders keeping very close coverage. Blown dead before the ball could reach into the goal. Saved by the whistle. As Mendoza sets up for this goal kick. Kick towards center field. Johansson over the head of Constanti. Possession goes back to the Rams. It's actually Johansson. Kicks it across. Garcia with the shoulder gets in the possession of Rodriguez. Johansson tripped up Dan Baruto. Kicked away by Fahia. Jamnander. Summerall. A lot of contact there. Not inherently caused by Summerall. Possession is going back to Union. I think they just got tripped up. Of course, we had a lot of rain prior to the contest today. As that's kicked from Feliz. Hit across and almost to the press box. As that's kicked away. over towards Feldman. Feldman looking for an open man. Villa was pointing to Rodriguez as he goes across the field, almost down to Namburuta. Kicked over. Slide tackle by Jim Nander. Constanti kicks it back across. Almost rolling out of bounds. Feldman passing it over to Fahia. Back to Feldman. Back toward Falaise. Feldman. Falaise, the wing came, the middle back coming a little too far out. Garcia with one man in front of him. He can get passed back and forth. Callaway there. Blown dead before the ball can make it into the goal. Oh, that's got to be disappointing for Callaway, but a lot of excitement and momentum coming from that play as Moreira kicks it over to Falaise. Samuels. Back to Samuels. Samuels was juking Callaway there. Tripped. There's some contact there. And finally a call from the ref signaling that he understood that Callaway got tripped up just a bit. Free kick coming from Mendoza. Coach Morton giving Callaway a little bit of advice. Check that. That wasn't a free kick. He was just kicking it across as Johansson sets up for this one. Collins next to him. Dandridge on the line. This PK comes up and through, hits the crossbar and cleared away by Fahia. Kicked away over towards Callaway. Rodriguez kicks it back to his goalie in Moreira. Falaise back to Moreira. Moreira to Namburuta on the edge. A little bit of shoving and pushing coming from Johansson as Mendoza sets up for this punt. Whistle blown dead. Seems to be an injured Bulldog on the field. He pops right back up. Seems to walk it off. That would have been an injured run, of course, was Batista. The ref jogging over to Mendoza. Clock stopped at 25:38. As that's kicked away to center field. Rodriguez headed up by Constanti. A little too much coming from number 8 of the Bulldogs. Salsi almost jumped over Dandridge to get that head as that's kicked away by Johansson over to the far touchline. Almost rolling out of bounds, but still in possession, still with the work. In a foot race, almost nobody there. Slide tackle from Johansson, still giving him possession as a nice save comes across the field over toward Rodriguez. Collins kicking it away. Rodriguez getting a handle on it. Rodriguez running two. Passing it over to Nambaruta. Nambaruta getting past Viscaro. Check that, Rodriguez. Kosarik was not able to get that in time, and it rolls past him as it goes past the back touchline. And Mendoza sets up to kick this one away. Kicked away. Collins flat on his back, having to take a sack. Looks like he just hit his tailbone. He's able to pop up. Ref making sure he's all good. Johansson for the free kick. Kicks it over to Jim Nander. Jim Nander over to Dandridge. Dandridge, very versatile player on the field, able to play in as a front man, but also in the back. Great on defense. As it's over to Rodriguez. Feldman back to Fillets. A little bit of contact, almost looked like could have been a flop. Rodriguez heading it up, almost knocking heads with Nambaruta. Kicked away by Fahia. Garcia, with a couple men in front of him, trying to bypass, stopped up from Salsi as it rolls out of bounds, hitting the far line ref. Throw-in coming from the Rams. Nambaruta and Jim Nander. Kick pass, Nambaruta. Almost nobody in front of him. Jim Nander able to garner possession. Couple too many Rams as it rolls past from number 6 from Union. Carney, the junior, puts the Union Bulldogs up 3-0 here in the first 25 minutes of play. Callaway squaring up, kicking it back to Johansson. Kicked up and out of bounds. Salsi to throw in. Summerall almost tripped up as the Bulldog rolls across his back. Viscaro to Johansson. Johansson getting past the couple. Constantin kicking it across to Callaway. Summerall over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez darting towards the line. Still able to keep it in play. An attempted Meg knocks it out of bounds. Collins coming out to throw it in. Thrown in to an empty spot from Callaway. Rodriguez kicks it. Trying to figure out who's going to get possession. They're going to give it to Bluefield as Constanti sets up for the corner kick. A lot of cheers coming from our bleachers. You don't do anything, come on down to the East River Soccer Complex for some great soccer. Don't forget, on October the 9th here at the East River Soccer Complex, we have our Chick-fil-A Mercer Mall Community Day. Come out starting at 11 a.m. First 50 people will get a free chicken sandwich, and I know that I love chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A because they're like the best. As that's headed away, that's kicked up towards center field. Dandridge in a foot race as that's kicked out of bounds. Still saying possession is with the Bulldogs. Chris Dandridge, also known as Nani, the famous football player, soccer player, rather. As Rodriguez throws it in, almost knocked it back out of bounds. Rodriguez trying to pass it through Viscaro. Tripped up a little bit. Rodriguez setting up again for a throw-in. Over to Feldman. Callaway with a missed attempted steal there. Kicked across and over the goal. Mendoza setting up. Like I mentioned, Chris Dandridge's alter ego on the field, of course, is Nani, who's a Portuguese soccer player. Luis Carlos Almeida de Cunacam, of course known as Nani, who they say he barks a striking resemblance to, as that's knocked out of bounds by Jim Nander. Kicked away, almost in a foot race. Callaway almost getting it. Fahia with the cross pass from Salsi. Hit out of bounds by Dandridge. 17:25 left here in the first half. Almost on the near side, Mendoza a little far outside the goal. Almost giving another opportunity before another corner kick comes up. Fahia setting up for that. Crowding a little wider than usual as they start jogging in. Almost not kicked up by Salsi. Grabbed and thrown by Mendoza to an open Callaway on the far touchline. Almost knocked out of bounds. Union still having possession. Fillets. Backed over and across to Rodriguez. Rodriguez almost tripped up there. Knocked out of bounds. Vizcarra thrown in by Rodriguez to Nambaruta. Nambaruta with Collins in front of him. Still keeping it in play. Almost there on the edge, but scooped up by Mendoza and bowled out towards Constanti. Constanti over to Summerall. Cut up by Rodriguez. Feldman. Across the field. Trying to get past Dandridge. Kicked up. Almost headed in, but on the far side of the goal. As that Bulldog flops right down. Mendoza setting up for the goal kick. Jim Nander, as they all tend to bunch up. Punted away. Back to Nambaruta. Feldman on the near side. Over to Rodriguez. Vizcarra almost coming up. Missed slide tackle by Rodriguez. Feldman trying to get past Collins. A little bit of a grab arm there. Kicked back towards Nambaruta. Almost open and on the far side. As he jogs away, I'm trying to catch that jersey number. As that's kicked away from Callaway. Not blown in favor of the Bulldogs, so score still 3-0. Thrown in from Rodriguez to Summerall. Foul there. Although Nambaruta definitely grabbed the shoulder of Summerall, he was a little surprised that he was like, I didn't do anything. As they set up for this kick in Constanti. 12:52 left to play here. Check that. That's Johansson. Kicks away. Curves a little bit to the right of the goal. And Moria sets up for another goal kick. Moria. Kicked away across the half. Almost off the hands. Nambaruta. Mimboma making his first appearance of the game. Feliz from Feldman. Feldman over and across. Kick towards center. Nambaruta in a foot race with Johansson as Johansson gets it back to Mendoza. Punted up and across midfield. Callaway trying to keep it in bounds as it rolls out. And Rodriguez throws it in. And an across. Garcia is over to Callaway. Callaway kicks it off the crossbar as it rolls across. No goal. Possession still with the Bulldogs. Kicked away by Motoria. Missed head. Dandridge across. Garcia trying to keep it in as it rolls out. Possession still with the Rams. Tony Rodriguez, Virginia Beach native, throws it in, kicks it back towards Johansson, and kicked across to Dandridge. Jim Nander over to Johansson. Johansson back to Jim Nander. Collins over to Garcia. Garcia deflected off. Rodriguez still keeping it in play. Off of Fahia. Collins, the throw-in. Collins thrown in off the head. Kicked up. Garcia off the left shoulder, rolls back behind. Trying to pull up. Mboma not very happy with that. Has Union looking for some kind of penalty to come off of Callaway, even though the Union Bulldog jumped up and practically landed on Callaway. As a Bulldog goes down, I'm going to thank a couple of our sponsors. Since 1989, Black Tie Charters has gone the extra mile to provide its clients with excellent service. The Rams ride with Black Tie Charters. Make your next event special with Mercer Mall, with Chick-fil-A Mercer Mall Catering. You can get your sandwiches, boxed meals, and other assortment of items from Mercer Mall Catering. Of course, come to our Mercer Mall Chick-fil-A Community Day here at the East River Soccer Complex, starting with 11 o'clock activities before the women's kick it off at 12, and the men's set up to start off at 2. The Grind 103 Spring Street seeks to offer regional flavors while implying a unique culture around their brand. Come to the Bluefield University Coaches Show every Monday night at 7, exclusively at The Grind. Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast, along with another segment we've been doing called Beyond the Ram, where we take an instead look at the lives beyond their athletics here at Bluefield University. As this kick comes from Johansson to the right of the goal, over top. 8:16 left to play here in half number 1. Goal kick coming from Moaria. Kicked across. Over top the far side. Dandridge still keeping a handle on it. Jim Nander racing down, preventing the Bulldogs from getting possession. Constantine, a foot race with Nambarudo. Almost rolling towards the press box. Back across to Falaise. Falaise looking for an open Rodriguez. Garcia trying to block it with his back. Rodriguez deflected off the body of Johansson. Feldman across to Salsi. Salsi kicking it inbounds. Slide tackle attempt, tripped up. Open goal essentially as it's almost kicked away, but Mendoza able to get his hands on it. Rolled out to Rodriguez. A little bit of confusion on the far side. As it's brought back into play by the Bulldogs. And Nambaruda over to Rodriguez. Who goes over and across. Kicked up. Mishead by Santos. Falaise and Garcia. Across the field, trying to keep it in as that's kicked back over and over the net with 5 minutes left here in half number one. If you're just now joining us, of course, 5 minutes left here in half number one. Union Bulldogs currently lead 3-0 as a couple opportunities coming for the Bulldogs, giving them in a better position as this free kick about to come up from Fahia. Almost knocked in, but knocked out of bounds. Possession with Bluefield as Mendoza sets up this goal kick. Kicked away by Mendoza. Headed up. Johansson. Almost recovered by the Bulldogs. Recovered. Over to Fahia. Fahia to an open Rodriguez. Kicked across the field. Tripped up. And too much contact gives possession back to the Bulldogs. Coach Morton a little upset. Kick coming up. Into the goal by number 25, Matthias Minboma. The 6'2 striker out of Paris, France. Puts the Bulldogs now up 4-0 here in the first half of play. Whistle blown, play resumes. Johansson. Fahia. Falaise. Rolled out of bounds. Melo not able to get there in time. Turn in from Rodriguez back to Johansson. Mendoza. A little too much pressure there, possibly. Gymnander deflected, still kept. No one in front. Kicked past, but on the outside of the goal. 2:49 here in half number one. Mendoza sets up for this goal kick. Kicked across the midfield. Headed up by Collins. Johansson setting up for this free kick. A center back with a strong leg. Kicks it up, headed right into the hands of Mo Ruria. 2 minutes left here in the half. Rodriguez over the head of Rodriguez. Melo, back center. Melo recovers. Fahia across the field, sprinting Dandridge. Along with Salsi. Past the back line. Possession still with the Bulldogs. Fahia making his way over to set up for this corner kick. Minute 20 left here. Kicked up and over. 50 seconds left. Mendoza setting up for this goal kick. The cross, a little bit of contact. And then Dan Baruto. Collins coming forward. Melo. Johansson in front of him. Collins recovering as he knocks it back to his goalie in the final 5 seconds tick down here in half number one. An attempt of a goal rolls back the pass line, and that's your first half. We'll be back here in 15 minutes. Please don't leave. We'll have a little bit of a halftime recap coming back here a few minutes before halftime. Thank you guys so much for sticking around here for the Rams Digital Sports Network.
You say you have vision, but where's it taking you? Because true vision is seeing what could be, contending with the status quo. It's taking what shapes you and using it to shape the world. It's the higher calling from the one who calls you his own. The higher vision, where visionaries are made. It's taking the higher road to a higher education. It's about discovering what God's placed inside of you is exactly what you need. It's knowing that to lead is to serve. And a life poured out is a life full and meaningful. So go. Go beyond the normal. Go stronger than before.
Welcome, everybody. Just to give you guys a couple team comparisons, the Union Bulldogs have taken 9 shots to Bluefield's 3. Bluefield has had 1 save. Union has kicked 4 corner kicks to Bluefield's 1, and offsides has been called on Bluefield to Union's none. 9 fouls have been called on the Bulldogs, Bluefield only having 2. As we go here into the second half of play, the Rams need to string a couple of things together, fill some patches in their offense, like quick recovery from possession change when they're downfield. Of course, one of the hardest parts about being a wing is the ability to come back and defend right quick after. And as that, of course, the Union Bulldogs gathering on their sideline for their little pep talk prior to starting this second half. And your Bluefield University Rams all hyped up to jog onto the field. Oh, they juked me out. They faked me out. They're just doing sprints to warm up. I'm a little confused. Check that, guys. We'll be back here in I'll be back here in about okay. We're back. I was a little confused based on some of the actions that were going on the field, but we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of play here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Since 1984, Swope Construction has led the way in innovative commercial construction solutions for West Virginia and Virginia. Swope Construction going further with the Rams. GigaBeam Networks offers broadband internet speeds faster than outdated phone company DSL and comparable to cable with no data caps. GigaBeam Network, a proud sponsor of Bluefield University Athletics. Since 1989, Black Tie Charger has gone the extra mile to provide its clients with exceptional service. The Rams ride with Black Tie Chargers as a couple of lunges going back and forth. We are here to set up. In center, of course, is Nan Baruda. Now, check that. As that's kicked back towards Union. Mello. Moria back to Melo. Melo keeping it. Kicked up. Coming across the field. An open Bulldog. Kicks it past and rolls right into the hands of Mendoza. As an exciting first minute goes on here in the second and final half of play. Here across midfield by Mendoza, Rodriguez. Johansson getting it past across. He's open. Blocked by Dandridge. Knocks it out of bounds and sets up the corner kick for the Bulldogs. The kick's coming. A missed head. Blocked by Collins. Rodriguez tripped up. Called. A lot of more penalties showing up here than in any game we've had at the East River Soccer Complex this season. As the wall forms, And the PK comes. A kick coming from Rodriguez off the crossbar, knocked up. Headed in. Rodriguez over to Santos. Back to Johansson. Rodriguez. On the far side corner. No one in front of him. Stopped up and rolled out of bounds past the back line, setting up a corner kick for the Bulldogs. That was Bienvenu. Dejunga. Bienvenu. There we go. Bienvenu. The striker out of Asnieres-sur-Seine, France. Kicks it up and forward. And Dan Baruda kicking it across and past the back touchline. If you're just now joining us, they're 5 minutes here into half number 2. 4-0 the score. The penalty is coming for both sides. A kick coming from Mendoza. A little lopsided. Recoverable. Kept in bounds. And then Dan Baruda. Possession still with the Rams. A couple Bulldogs trying to point in their way. Knocked out once again. Throw in. Kicked up. Almost an open field, kicked away by Dandridge. Throw in on the far touchline. Throw in for the Rams. Well, back to and across the field, Garcia. Garcia passed and over, almost caught up Callaway. Collins over to Dandridge. Nimban Barudo. Then Dan Barudo over to Mbama. They're crossing in front. Jim Nander gaining possession as it kicks over to Dandridge. Deflected off of number 6, Carney. Carney, the junior, out of Liverpool, England. Archbishop Beck alum. Throw in coming from Dandridge. Headed away over to Summerall. Right into the possession of a Bulldog. Back across midfield to Warrington. And Dan Baruto missed and cleared away. A little bit of a shove in the back, tripped up. Viscaro. Rodriguez across the field, knocked out of bounds. And a corner kick coming up for the Rams. Setting this one up. Kicked up. Almost knocked out. Viscaro racing. Kick towards the far side. Headed up. Jim Nander. Almost getting a kick in the face from I believe the goalie got a little tripped up after landing on the ball. Play clock still rolling. Cheers coming from our East River Soccer Complex bleachers once again. Let's check that. Now in the goal, Porcelot. Passed. Kicked over. Knocked out of bounds by Jim Nander. Throw-in coming. No hands. Garcia kicked far. Callaway sprinting in a foot race. Knocked out of bounds. Trying to get a position for everybody to come back down. Knocked out of bounds by Melo. Collins jogging over to take the throw-in. Almost past Porcelot. A little bit of discussion on who possession it is as Viscaro jogs over to take this corner kick. Check that. Tagging in would be Santos, Gabriel Santos. And check that. Viscaro will be taking this one. Viscaro out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Kicked across, back up, headed over right into the hands of Porcelot. Summerall getting close. As Porcelot bowls it over to Melo. Back over to Porcelot. Callaway coming near. Playing some very deep coverage. Over back to Santa Reese. Pushed, nothing called. Another slide tackle attempt, kicked away. And across, Rodriguez on the far side. Getting past Andridge. Off the hand of Mendoza. Keeping the far side of the goal kept up. As the goal kick's coming. Check that corner kick since it was off the hand of Mendoza when it went out of bounds. Setting up. Salsi Kicks it up. Knocked away. Callaway. Bien Revue. Rodriguez. Melo. Back towards Porcelot. Melo. Melo kicks it across. Almost rolling out of bounds, and it does. Possession goes back to Bluefield. The ball is kicked back in bounds. I don't know if that was the intention of the Bulldog, number 25. As this throw-in comes from none other than Dandridge. A lot of contact coming from Summerall. Garcia. Fahia over to Rodriguez. Back to Fahia. Kick towards the goal, but cleared away. Garcia. Collins. Whistle blown. Possession back to the Rams. Dandridge. The cross over to Summerall. Scaro Salsi. Rodriguez. Out to Nambarudo. Crowded by a couple of Rams. That's Porcelot. Collar racing over to Melo. Almost stopped up. Dandridge. Collins getting it. Passed and over. Kicked up by Melo. Headed away by Garcia. Summerall. Slide tackle attempt. The Union Bulldog is down in Nambarudo. A little bit of foot tussle there with Summerall. Nambarudo pops right back up. 29 minutes left here in half number 2. Kicked away by Nambarudo. Wants to cross the field. Bien Veru. Rodriguez. Everybody getting a little tripped up there. Possession goes back to the Rams after Collins gets a little tripped up. Setting up for the goal kick, Jake Mint. Check that free kick. Kick comes across. Almost rolling out of bounds, and a head that left him off his feet in possession, going back to the Rams. Kicked in by Rodriguez, going across the field. Melo coming to this near corner. Dandridge. Santana Reese as that's knocked out of bounds by Garcia. Santana Reese throwing it in. Fahia almost passed through and a couple legs tripped out of bounds. Possession still with the Bulldogs. Throwing coming from Santa Reese. Slide tackle attempt by Johansson, unsuccessful. Mboma trying to fake out Santos. Coming in center field, open for Ben Veru. Knocked in by number 25. Check that. No, number 25, Mboma. Puts the Union Bulldogs now up 5-0 here in your second and final half of play. Very windy night here atop the East River Soccer Complex for a great day of AAC, or great night rather, of AAC play. Rams looking for their third win in the win column in the AAC, while the Bulldogs look for win number 1 in conference. 26-39 left here in the second half as Callaway starts center. Johansson kicks. Garcia sprinting, rolls out of bounds. Santana Reese to throw in. Headed away by Collins. Garcia kicks it up. Callaway. Over to Nambarudo. Fahia. Coming across to an open Rodriguez. Fahia making his way center. Salsi. Rodriguez keeping hold as it's kept up, headed over a couple as it goes right into the hands of Mendoza. Mendoza kicks it away towards Callaway. Thrown in and across. Headed up. Headed away. Viscaro. Check that, Rodriguez. In a foot tussle as they throw down. Flag comes up. Nothing blown. Ball still in play. As ball goes back to Mendoza. Johansson back to Mendoza. The cross coming in to Bulldog territory as Callaway looks to keep possession. Mboma throws a hand in the face of Callaway as the chants of "you can't do that" come from the crowd. Leo Garcia sets up for this. His hand goes up. He kicks it. Kicked up. Rolling almost to our near side hill. Collins for the throw-in. thrown in and across, headed away. Missed attempt by De Oliveira. Johansson, open field, but tripped up. Number 25, Mboma, falls a little tripped up there as he comes into the attacking third and falls short of the goal as this goal kick coming up for Mendoza. Mendoza kicks it away right into center field. Salsi kicked away almost on the far touchline. Kicked back towards center. Looking for a call out of bounds, not going to get it. Kicked against the far corner, open field. Almost tripped up. Mendoza far out of the goal. Kicked back towards Salsi on the far side. Kicked across and kicked out, but kicked back. Almost in. Couple hands tripped up. Mendoza lands on the ball. 21:33 left here in the second half of play. Mendoza across. Garcia. Garcia, slide tackle, tripped up and rolled through. Another penalty coming for the Bulldogs. Garcia sets up to kick. .42 left here in the second half. Kicked away, almost kept in balance. Porcelot walks out with the ball. Bowled out to the side. Kicked against the press box, hitting one of the far windows. Bicycle kick attempt knocked into the parking lot, bouncing across, not hitting any cars in particular. Throw-in coming. Thrown into the huddle. Almost kicked away. Blown dead. Corner kick coming. Picked away almost to the far touchline, and possession goes back to the Rams. Dandridge to throw back in. Mendoza recovered. Back over to Dandridge. Dandridge kicking it. Garcia looking open as it's bounced back between some Bulldogs. Salsi with an open field as he passes it over. Mboma blocked and cleared away by Collins. Racing down the far touchline. Mboma back to Salsi. Salsi kicked up and over the goal. Mendoza sets up for the goal kick. Into center field. Forced a lot. Back. And Dan Baruta. Couple Rams passing it back and forth. Slips up. And Dan Baruta not happy with that as Rams gain possession. Johansson, a Sweden native, here for the free kick. Threw a couple and deflected off of the feet of Nambaruta as it rolls past the back line, setting up a corner kick for the Rams. Corner kick coming in the center. Knocked away. Dandridge coming to, picked up, nobody there. Almost headed away. Missed bicycle kick. Picked up and over. A little roll off the back. Santos coming back towards midfield. An open field for Salsi. Deflected off by Mendoza. An amazing save here late in the second half. Knocked out of bounds as they set up a corner kick from Salsi. 15 minutes left here in the game. Whistle blowing the play dead. Sets up another corner kick. Headed up. Knocked away. Mendoza sets up for this kick. And Nambaruta. Kick back into play, but a Bulldog tripped up. And Nambaruta. Back to Melo. Over to Melo. Melo kicks it across. Kicked up. Missed head by Jim Nander. A back and forth piece. Open field. tripped up a couple Rams. Garcia on the near touchline toward center field. Slide tackle. Nothing blown. Kicked back up. Summerall kicked away. Johansson. The legs of the ref. Summerall almost. Check that. Santos not happy with that one as possession goes back to the Bulldogs. Kicked into play by Nambaruta. Kicked away by Jim Nander. Over to Dandridge. Take a cross and over the goal. They set up another goal kick for Mendoza. Mendoza to midfield, headed off the back of Summerall. And Dambaruta, Garcia keeping it. And Dambaruta with a little bit of a pull. Another contact. Going to keep possession with the Rams, but a better position for them with 11:20 left here in the game. Johansson. They come close into 11 minutes. Tipped up. Right in the hands of Porcelot. Bobbled. As he waits for everybody to jog away. Johansson to Mendoza. Almost an attempt there. Salsi. Couple Rams tripped up. Calling that one on Bluefield. Bulldogs slow to get up. Someone from the crowd yelling, "You're not hurt, you're fine." Salsi setting up for this kick. The cross almost headed in, and it does! Through the hand of, not the hand, knocked in by Ndambaruta. Puts the Bulldogs now up 6-0. Check that. That goal was scored by Christopher Samuels. Number 19 is Callaway, is in midfield. Kicked away right to Callaway off of the shoulder. And rolls out of bounds. Possession still with the Rams. Collins jogging over. Thrown in. Callaway. Rolled into the side net. Porcelot juggling it a little bit before coming and jogging up center. Kicks it over. Samuels. Kicked away by number 35, Risen. Kick in, blocked by Mendoza. A couple more kicks coming, and finally kicked away. Open to center. Moved in center by Callaway. Melo. And Dan Baruta. Melo. Kick back to Melo. Kicked across the field over to Dandridge as it rolls out of bounds. Possession with the Rams. Looks to be a quick shoe tie before Dandridge sets up for this throw-in. Thrown in by Dandridge. Headed off by Melo. Bien Veru. Santos. Open field in front. Salsi. Kicked away, open field. Jim Nander racing forward. Kicked into the side net by Craig. Mendoza jogs up for the corner kick. Here it comes. Drops right in front of Collins. Couple of back-to-back heads. That's kicked over to Garcia. Dandridge stopped up. And Dan Baruta. Slide tackle, knocks it out of bounds. Time stopped at 4:40. Play resumed. Ball comes in. Possession back with the Rams. A little less than 4.5 minutes to go. Kicked across, sprinting, rolls out of bounds. Constanti to throw in. Check that. Collins jogging over. Collins thrown in. Headed away. Kicked back over the far touchline. Goodman shuffling into play in the last couple of minutes. Malo. Constanti. Kicked away. Almost coming across. Kicked in and across. Salsi with dangers in front of him. Headed up. Craig. Craig kicking it across. Ben Veru. Bulldogs still keeping it in possession. Missed. And rolling out of bounds, and possession going back to the Rams. 2:30 left here in play. Throw-in coming from Dandridge. Headed pass. Warrington. Jimnander. Rodriguez. Headed away. Couple of foot tricks coming from Salsi. Rolling out of bounds. Possession still with the Bulldogs. Thrown in. Setting up for the throw-in. Collins. Kicked up. And out of bounds right in front of the press box. 45 seconds remaining. Rolled in. Warrington knocking it out. Dandridge. 30 seconds left. Collins tripped up. Whistle blown. 20 seconds left as they set up for this kick. Kicked in the center. Kicked up, knocked up. Porcelot lets it roll out the back. It's the final 5 seconds. Tick down, and wow, that was a very aggressive game with a lot of penalties, a lot of attempts on both sides. Rams coming out here a little out of system today. And yes, as you guys can probably not, I don't know if you guys can hear or not, by the loudspeaker, of course, please come out to the Mercer Mall Chick-fil-A Community Day, going to be hosted here at the East River Soccer Complex. Festivities are poised to kick off at 11 a.m., followed by games starting at 12 for the women's and 2 for the men's, as both teams take on Bryan College for our Community Day. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on the Rams Digital Sports Network for some AAC soccer. The Rams dropped this one 6-0. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take it easy, Rams fans.